Hello, everybody. My name is Jahmari Moore here with my co-host Zane Ali, and we are back with episode 6 of the Couch Experts podcast. Zane, how are you doing this week, man?
Week's been good, dude. I feel like it's just been such a grind every week. You do grading, schoolwork, and then homework, and you have coaching, and then before we know it, it's Sunday night. I feel like it just
Mm,
every week goes faster and faster, and here we are at week 6. How about you, man? How's everything going?
Yeah, I agree. I think the week go by really fast. I'm sitting here today on Sunday, so for those of you who know, we record on Sundays. I'm like, man, we're here already. That's crazy. Yeah, it's been going by fast. I feel like we just started yesterday, so this weekend, I've had a really good weekend. I'm a little stressed right now with just watching the Chicago Bears game. Obviously, this is coming out on Wednesday, so I have no idea what happens. It's a close game right now, so very stressed, and it has a lot of fantasy implications. For those of you who don't know, with fantasy football, Zane and I are very competitive fantasy football players. How fantasy usually works: you usually draft with a bunch of friends, and you're the manager or owner of a team that you put together with basically a bunch of offensive players. You might be able to draft a kicker, defense. You don't really draft individual defensive players, but you put together the best possible team you can. But what's difficult is that you might draft a bunch of players that may go against your personal or your city team, like me. So that's what's happening right now. Zane, what is your fantasy looking like right now?
Fantasy is good. So I'm that guy that's in like 4 or 5 fantasy teams, and so I'm
Yeah.
always like every game I'm rooting for both quarterbacks or both sides of running backs or something. So it's very hard to
Mm-hmm.
watch football, but I really enjoy it. My most competitive league right now. The only thing I have to, I guess, gripe about is Joe Burrow going down with another injury. I took Jamar
Mm-hmm.
Chase really early on, so
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, with Jake Browning as his quarterback, it's just not quite the same. But other
Right,
than that, I've
right.
actually had a lot of good luck with injuries this year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for anybody that isn't familiar with fantasy football, real injury or injuries in real life affect you inside of fantasy football. Um, how about you, man? Are you dealing with any injuries, or do you have a lot of Caleb Williams or any of your Bears?
Yeah. So for starters, right, when you look at, and I'm pulling it up right now on my phone. Here is my team, right? My team is Geno Smith, Bijan Robinson, Devon A. Chain. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Rome Dunze, Keenan Allen, Brock Bowers, David Montgomery, Daniel Jones. I have Buffalo's kicker, Patriots defense. That's at least my starters. On the bench right
Okay.
now, I have George Kittle, which I could really use George Kittle. He's injured. I started, or excuse me, did not start, didn't know how he would play, but Jackson Dart with the New York Giants, they actually beat the Chargers. Was not expecting that.
No.
Um, and the most notable person I have on my bench after that is Travis Kelsey, which I have a lot of tight ends. But that's what it's looking like right now. And it's weird. In this game, the Raiders versus Chicago, it's like I want my team to do well, the Bears, but I need Geno Smith to do well as well. And so far, he's thrown 3 interceptions. So he's thrown 3 interceptions, but he also has a couple of touchdowns, and somehow they're still winning against the Bears. So as a sports fan, I feel like the most unique situations happen where in every situation I lose. Fantasy, my team, visual players. Like I have Brock Bowers on this team, and he doesn't have. I mean, it's been all Genty. I know you have Genty.
Yeah.
Um, it's been pretty. It's been pretty odd, man. Like you throw 3 picks and you're still winning the game. That's the Bears for you.
I was gonna say, but bananas, absolutely bananas. I know the Bears, and I find myself in weird situations where you fantasy's cool because you wind up rooting for people or teams you never would find yourself rooting for otherwise. Like
Right.
I grew up a Broncos fan, you grew up a Bears fan.
Yeah.
We grew up only rooting for those teams, but now like
Mm-hmm.
I have Drake May starting in all 4 of my leagues, and so that's my
Drake May.
starting quarterback across the board.
He didn't have a bad day
And
today.
so, well, from a fantasy standpoint, he did well. He had like 30 points.
Yeah,
That's
he went.
just
He
the so.
went. Yeah, he did good today.
Yeah. Let's see here. So fans, kind of what the goal is for today. Obviously we're on a bye week. Wyoming is not playing football this week, but what we wanted to do is give you like a little fall recap.
Hmm.
So first we'll start off with football, but then I figured we'll jump over to some volleyball, some soccer, and then just some other fall sports as we see fit. Jahmari, we won't spend a lot of time here, but let's just go ahead and quickly recap football. We're 2-2 right now. Obviously 0-0 in the Mountain West. We haven't played
Hmm.
any conference games yet. We
Hmm.
start opening up with UNLV. I guess what would your fall recap be for football for the fans?
I think that number one, us being in a bye week or having a bye week is going to be critical for just getting guys healthy and also doing some self scouting. So, what I mean by self scouting is just looking at, all right, what are some tendencies that we do or we show on film that might give keys to what we're doing to the other team. So, being able to look at that and then add a couple of wrinkles, I think that definitely gives you a spark. But at the end of the day, I think it's just important that we come out fast and score, right? Because I think if you look at the game that we had against Colorado last week, it started to pick up and it started to come through at the end, and it just wasn't enough time. So I think it needs to be a fast start offensively, right? Fast start offensively. I have a little bit more faith in the defense. I think they'll hold up in the beginning, and even if there's like success on the other end, I think that they'll hold up. So I just need a fast start, to be honest. I think that's going to be pretty critical because then that's going to create momentum. And again, we're getting into conference play here, so it's going to be critical that we have that type of quick start and not trying to play catch up because we just don't have an explosive offense like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not a high scoring team. So we need to come out fast and take out all those little mistakes, man. It's just frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also think, we are 2-2 overall. I said it in our last
Mm-hmm.
video. We are 500 right now. And
Yep.
from a statistical standpoint, we are giving up 359 yards a game. And I know people are going to say that's a terrible defense. Well, look, we played Utah and we played Colorado, two offensive teams that are putting quite a bit of NIL money behind their offenses. Not to say that Wyoming hasn't struggled on offense or defense in certain categories, but there's obviously a stark difference between the two.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
I
also
think
too.
overall,
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to say complimentary football too. Like
Yep.
the stats could be misleading is my only point. I think that when you look at the games and see how it comes up, you'll then get a more complete picture and more context for how that happens. What are you about
Oh,
to say, though, my
absolutely.
man?
Like Utah, 17, 20 play drives where they're on offense that entire time. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, we're going to give up 300 yards a game. I mean, we never got on the field offensively, and then we immediately 3-and-out. So overall, I would say from a fall recap, I like where we're at.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got to come out hot, like you said. We've got to try to turn the tide. Anything you'd add with that, Jamar?
No, man. We gave our breakdowns and stuff in our last episode. I think we covered a lot of it. What I'm really interested in and see how much you know about is some Cowgirls volleyball.
I
From
was
what
going to say,
we, yeah,
excellent.
from what I have here, 6-7 overall, but 2-0 in Mountain West. Um, and I want to give a quick shout out to Maddie Stuckey. So I don't know if she'll hear this or anything like that, but when I was getting ready to teach, her father, Kyle Stuckey, shout out to Kyle as well. Kyle Stuckey was my mentor teacher in Laramie High School. And so I remember hanging out with all of them and um, being able to learn from him and be around his family. They're really awesome. And yeah, Maddie, she ended up going to Wyoming. So I think she's still there. I think she might be a junior, probably around this time. I'll have to look it up. But shout out to her and the rest of the squad. I used to love going to the volleyball games. I don't know how much you go. Did you go a lot? Did you go to the games a lot?
So, working on the facility side, I remember I worked like almost every single volleyball game. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like actually a really big both Cowgirls volleyball and Cowgirls basketball, I think, were the two
Okay.
events I worked the most.
Right.
So I actually got really used to going to the college volleyball games, and it's a fun atmosphere, especially when you get that Unawyo filled up
Mm-hmm.
for both wrestling and for volleyball. It could
Right.
turn into a really fun atmosphere. I'm looking at their results right now.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the fall recap, we came out with a win against Cleveland State. We lost to
Right.
University of Colorado, and then it looks like we had I want to say South Dakota State University tournament. We lost to
Right.
Ole Miss. We lost to South Dakota. And then it just looks like some losses at some tournaments. What I'll say, obviously, I'm not even going to claim to be a avid volleyball fan, but what I will say is that they did beat CSU, and that right there is going to help out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like if I'm looking at sets against CSU, it looks like we're just being competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say to fans, make sure that you get to those volleyball games. It looks like our next game is in Laramie is going to be
Good old
October 9th
Paradise.
at 6:30 p.m. against Utah
Mm-hmm.
State. From what I do remember working those games, the crowd does help. It makes a huge difference, just like in any sport, but especially in the U and a while where it really holds a lot of noise.
Yeah.
If fans
Mm-hmm.
can get there, it goes a long way. How about you, man? Did you spend any time at volleyball games?
Oh man, I love going to the volleyball games. Was really good friends with a lot of the volleyball girls there. I could think of a couple where it's Maddie Fields, Jackie McBride. There's Tara. Like it was just a bunch of them that we used to always go support. Haley. I mean, the list goes on. They were always really supportive of us, and we also connected a lot during FCA. So there was a lot
Yep.
of them that we came and support just as a group. It was funny, man. I used to go to the game and sit not like across from the student section. So if you can picture whoever's watching this, if you can picture where the student section is, I would
Hmm.
sit on the other side with some of the guys and we'd look up the names of the people we were playing. So like we look up these girls from San Diego State, let's just say, and we would heckle them by name. So if it was somebody getting ready to serve, we're like, Hannah, don't mess up. Like we would we would antagonize like crazy. Looking back at it, I'm like I don't know what I was thinking, but we
I
used
was
to
gonna
do
say
that a
now
lot. No,
the
I wouldn't
adult
do that
Jamari
today.
now is like, oh
Nah.
boy, yeah.
Yeah, I thought back to it and they were
I
all I
That's
feel like it
funny.
helped. I like to think that it helped. I like to think so.
I remember people doing that. I don't recognize you from doing it, but I do remember certain sports people would heckle people by name, and I was like, that's bold. I
Oh
remember at a
yeah.
wrestling tournament once, somebody did that to a wrestler, and the wrestler ended up getting pinned, and he was mad, and he was like looking for the
Oh
fans
my
that were
god.
heckling him, and I was like,
It
yeah.
worked.
So it was definitely one of those things where you're like, oh boy, let's not take this too far. So but yeah, man, just to
Hmm.
recap, it does look like Stuckey is still there. It looks like on the
Yeah.
stat sheet against Colorado State, she had 16 assists.
Hmm.
Fans help us out. It was 16 assists. It sounds phenomenal, but
It
again,
sounds good. I'm not sure.
I
Also, I think she
played inter.
redshirted too. I think she redshirted too.
Oh, perfect.
So I might be off a little bit with her grade. I think she might be either like in her sophomore year or going into her
Something
junior
like
year.
that.
Mm.
I did play intramural volleyball at Half Acre Gym.
Half
We
acre,
were not
jeez.
on the competitive side. We were on the recreational side. Our team
Mm-hmm.
name was Unprotected Sets, and
Unprotected
yeah,
sets. That's funny.
we didn't win. We didn't win a game. So, did you
Yeah.
do any intramural volleyball there?
Seventh
Nice.
Street,
Yeah,
South side, not sure,
yeah,
but yeah,
it
we
is.
used to we used to do a little bit of that. But not too many intramurals though. With volleyball, is more so basketball, more so hoops. Um, but yeah, no, that's really all I could think of with volleyball. There's also soccer too. There's also soccer. What I have here, so we're 5-3-3. We're 0-1-1 and conference. Anything with volleyball, no, excuse me, soccer. Anything with soccer. Going to the games that you can remember. Anything you know currently with players on the
Well,
team.
really quick, let me circle back to your intramural basketball
Oh,
before we jump over to women's soccer.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Fun story for you. We had a non-competitive team. It was my all boys team. It was for my business
Mm,
fraternity, and
okay.
we were pretty good. We won all of our games rec league, and so we were really good, and we were really excited to go into the tournament because
Hmm.
you can always win those shirts if you win everything.
Yeah, the
They
shirts.
told us at last minute, "Hey, we moved you to competitive league instead of rec league."
Uh-oh.
And when I moved to competitive league, I don't know if you were with these boys. It
Oh
was all
man.
football guys
Yep. I
in
know exactly what you're
matching
talking about.
warm ups,
Yeah.
and I want to say it was Dewey,
Yeah.
Andrew Wingard
Yeah.
in like a suit and a clipboard, and they all walked in like that, and me and my buddies are like, "What? What?" And dude, they were throwing down dunks and they were doing all this.
Oh
Like we got
yeah.
killed. We got absolutely wrecked. And I was like, "Why did you guys move us up?" Like,
Yeah, so to give you more context, I know the exact team that you're talking about. I also did uh well, I don't know the exact name of it, but it was a co-ed league. So I did that one. I did that league. The competitive one you're talking about, that's Elijah Halliburton, James Price, Andrew Winger. Like, I mean, there's a lot of guys on that team that they took it like if you
oh,
weren't blowing
dude.
guys out, they made them run like shuttles on the court if they didn't blow somebody out. It was ridiculous. I mean, I think Jared Scott was on there. Shout out to J Sco. And these are like guys too that didn't just play football. I think Austin Conway at some point. Um,
No, these are like legit.
yeah,
They
these are
played varsity
athletes, man.
basketball.
Yeah, these are
Yeah.
guys that could play either sport. So, and
Yeah.
if it wasn't that, they had size, speed, and
Oh,
obviously athleticism. So yeah, it was. I don't even know
dude, we
how
were.
they managed to do it with how much like all the workouts and stuff we had to do around that time. But yeah, no, I knew that was gonna come up.
Oh,
I
dude,
was
it was
not on that team.
for anybody that doesn't know. You can go competitive or you can go rec league. And like
Yeah.
we always signed up for rec league. We are like, let's keep it
Mm,
low key. We want it to be competitive, but really we just want to get a workout. Well, it turns out if you win all of your rec league games, they might move you to competitive for the tournament, and you might face
mm,
a bunch of Division 1 football players that could also be Division 1 basketball players. So just be aware of that. Women's soccer. So, like you said, 5-3-3. Right now, they've got one draw, one loss in the Mountain
yeah.
West. If you look at goals for and against, 10 goals for, 9 goals against. Again, I am not claiming to be a major soccer fan. I do follow the
Mm,
Premier League. My team is Aston Villa, which
mm,
right now we're not playing very well either. What I will say is that you want your goal difference to be a lot more than +1. Same thing like the turnover margin. That's kind of where they're at.
mm,
They're sitting right here at a +1. So you would like to see a little bit more offensively. However,
mm,
um, I mean, wins are wins, right? They're obviously positive. You can't get upset at that.
mm.
Anybody on the team, I don't know anybody on this roster. I did back in the day, but we're starting to show our age a little bit here, man. Anybody you know?
Nah, man. Nobody that I can think of off the top of my head. Again, plenty of people who used to when we were around. And it was always nice going to the games as well. I felt like we had a pretty competitive team a few years actually. But no, I don't know anybody now, and I agree with your take about the point differentiate like being one. What I can tell though is that if we've played right 13 games and we've scored 10 goals, and there's been 9 against us. It's just a low scoring offense is what I can take from it. But again, I'm not an expert in soccer. You know what I mean? Some of
I
those
was gonna say,
games, we're not scoring in at all. So that's just if I'm doing the math, right? But I don't, I'm not no expert, man. But I know it's also really hard to score a goal in soccer too. So um
you look at the pros. It's usually right around 1-0. One
yeah.
0-0 is a very common finish. So it could just
Hmm.
be the Mountain West is a tough one. I don't know either. But fans, let us know if you're a big soccer fan. I do know they beat the University of Georgia, and at the time Georgia was ranked 15th. They beat them
Yes.
1-0, and that was in Athens, Georgia. So I know they have a
Mm.
little something to hang their hat on there. They
We
did
got
have a
some
loss to
juice.
Boulder in Boulder, but
Right.
yeah, fans, fill us in. We're not trying to be ignorant. We're just trying to bring a little love to everywhere. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Let me hit you with another one. Cross country. Jamari, did you run any cross country
Oh
or
my
track in your
gosh.
day?
Track and field in high school, yes. Cross
Okay.
country, absolutely not. Nah, man. I did some track and field back in my day. I currently coach track and field now. At the high school that I'm at. We do stuff in the spring, but cross country, no, that's not something that I've done. But again, just being an athlete, you get to know a lot of them on the cross country, especially the track. I had some really good friends on the track team as well. And
Mhm.
what was always interesting was that with cross country and track specifically, and just in college, the events. So for me, the context is that when I did track and field, the events I knew about were like, or that I did were like throw, shot, disc. I did some of the sprints, had some medleys and everything, but there's so many more events out there that I think the average fan or just people who think of track don't even know. Like a lot of people who think of track just only think of running. They don't even think of field events. But there was like the javelin. That was the first time I was introduced into the javelin, and that's something I really wish that I did. And I just have a lot of respect for track and field athletes in general because of just the variety that you have with the sport. But the javelin was something that was fascinating to me. It was something we didn't do in high school. And then there was another thing, and I'm forgetting the name right now, but it was like you're throwing something on a chain. It's like a ball on a chain, but I forget the name. I'll have to look it up, or somebody's
It's
gonna
not
correct me.
shot put. Is it
It's
just
not a
like weight
shot.
throw? I can't remember what it is
The
either.
specific name, I'm blanking on it. But I saw
Um,
this too, and I'm like, wow, okay. Just imagine if I had this at my high school. Like maybe I would have went to school to do track and field because I was able to go to state a few times when I was in college as well. So yeah, I don't know. Did you have any connections to cross country, track and field?
Dude, we went to I don't know how Chicago did it. In Wyoming, in like, I want to say it's like fifth grade, maybe it's sixth grade, maybe it's younger.
Mm-hmm.
They take all the elementary schools in like a
Mm-hmm.
local area, and then you
Mm-hmm.
just go do a big track meet. And it's kind of like your first experience. They put you into that. And
Mm-hmm.
your PE teacher at the time, they put you in the waves, right? Wave one, you're really fast. Wave 10, you're really slow.
Mm-hmm.
And they hand you your paper and they tell you right then, all right, here's what they think you're good at. Here's what they don't think you're good at.
Right.
My guy, I think I was wave 10 and everything but the long
Painting.
jump. And I was like, all right.
Long
So
jump.
the writing is on the wall. I had hops, and that was all I had because I did well in the long jump, but I just couldn't sprint, I guess, or run. No, my wife she did cross country and track, so she loved it. But yeah, no, definitely not me.
Don't you
Definitely not
need
me.
don't you need don't you need some type of speed though to do long jump because there's a runway, right?
There's
Like
a runway. I don't know. Maybe I did have speed, but it was just only short. I don't know. All I do know is like even in basketball, like that was my one thing is I could actually get up a little bit. Now I wasn't
okay.
throwing down windmills. I don't want fans getting the wrong idea, but like for my for my stature, I did fine, and so yeah, I don't know, man. I just was not built for cross country or track at all. I do know Wyoming cross country. We've had a couple of meets. I forgot his first name, but we do have a kid named White. He's a kid, it's senior, but he just got Mountain West Athlete of the Week, men's athlete of the week. So I do know that he's had quite a bit of pedigree coming out of Wyoming. So shout out to him.
Hmm.
Um, Next one I want to hit you with. This has been the sport I have done avidly, Jamari, since I basically went to the University of Wyoming. Tell
Expert
me a
here.
little bit about your golf game, man.
Man, golf, terrible swing. Not a bad. So let me be more specific. Not a driver. Maybe putting or chipping is something that I'd be somewhat okay at, but I force it too much. I'm not smooth. I'm not smooth. I force it too much. I have to continue to practice and work on my game. I actually have some clubs. I need to take some
Okay.
time to go and use it. And like I just somebody were pawning them, and they were like, you know what, you can just keep these. I'm not really going to use them. And so I have some clubs, but man, it took some time to get my swing okay. But it's I love doing it though. I love doing it, and I've always said that I've wanted to do it more when I have more time. But nah, man, don't bet on me, man. Don't bet on me. Anything
Yeah.
golf related, you just yeah. Hammer the over any par. Hammer the
Over
over.
under 120. Are we going the over? Jamari?
Man, I mean it depends on the course.
Depends on the
Um,
course. Okay.
maybe if it's in Laramie, then there's a chance. Like the course in
There we
Laramie,
go.
there's a
Okay.
chance.
Get
But
that
if you're talking
elevation with
like,
you.
yeah, if you're thinking like AZ, just some of these like nice,
Oof.
beautiful, large courses,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
gonna happen. No shot. What about you?
Yeah, so golf, that was the one sport. I actually worked at Jacoby National when I was
Mm,
there in Laramie. And then actually, every summer since I've been a teacher, I work at a golf course just so I can get the free golf.
that's
Now, with
nice.
that being said, I'm not good at golf. I should be way better for the amount that I play.
That's
But
funny.
I get down into the 90s. Like I can play some decent golf. But it's
Right.
golf's just one of those sports, man. You just
Mm-hmm.
you think you've got it, and then you next hole you blow up with an 11,
Mm-hmm.
and your whole day's messed up. So,
Right. Right.
as far as golf goes, women's team got second at the Wolverine Invitational, 11th
Mm-hmm.
at the Ram Classic. The
Yeah.
men's team, I do know they've, as far as according to Go Wild, they've struggled a little bit, been towards the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But again, golf is one of those sports, man. They might not be having a good start to the season, but they can always turn it on. It just takes a couple of mental adjustments. I mean, that's any sport, but especially with golf.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. This next one, Jamari. So a little background for the fans. I feel like I'm talking a lot, so I'm gonna give it over here to Jamari. Our rodeo team. So I grew up
Yeah.
rodeoing. I grew up calf
Yeah.
roping and team roping. So those were
Mm-hmm.
my main sports. My family's always done it. So shout out our rodeo team. They're currently leading Central Rocky Mountain region
Mm-hmm.
in points, and
Mm-hmm.
UW's rodeo team is always one of the top in not just the state, in the country. And so they're always towards the top in the region. And then,
Right. Right.
but what I wanted to ask you, and this is going to be my couch question of the week. I know that you have another one. Out of all the male rodeo events, Jamari, out of all of them, which one do you think you could do, or at least get done, and why do you think that one?
Man, out of all of them, I think maybe steer wrestling. I think steer wrestling
Okay.
might be the one. One because it's quick. I think it's like
Yeah.
it's one of the quicker events. I mean, the other ones are quick too, but that one you just hop off, get them on the ground real quick,
Yep.
just snap
Yep.
on that. I worry though. I get again, y'all. I'm from Chicago, so I've been to some rodeos. I've seen it, but I'm always worried. Like, damn, what if they accidentally like hurt their neck or something, or snap their
Mm-hmm.
neck or something.
Mm-hmm.
But steer wrestling for sure. Steer wrestling for sure. I think it's quick. You just hop off and get her done real
I was
quick. I
I
think
was
the
gonna say
tie-in,
quite a
like with the
few.
lasso, I think that one's crazy. Like I don't know. Like I have so much respect for people who are able to do that. I don't know. Like that's because I don't even know if I can throw a lasso accurately. You know what I'm saying? Let alone even tie one. So I probably disappoint a lot of pokes out there. But nah, I'm not a not the lasso guy. What about you though?
I was gonna say, so right now I'm gonna go with team roping. I think if I
Team
tried to
roping.
calf
Okay,
rope
team
right
roping.
now, it would. I'm not in calf roping shape. We'll put it that way. But no, man, I like steer wrestling for you. There's actually quite a few like college football guys that wind up
Mm,
doing steer wrestling professionally,
yeah.
and that's like the national finals rodeo. For anybody that's not familiar, that's kind of like the Super Bowl of rodeo. And
Hmm.
when you watch that, it's usually a couple guys are like, oh, they played college football at LSU. Oh, they played college football at Texas Tech. So it's always
Yeah.
these like really good athletes that are associated
Hmm.
with that. So I like that one for you. But no, rodeo right now, the one that I grew up, it would not be calf roping. It would have to be team roping. Team roping, for anybody that doesn't know, it's you just stay on the horse. There's not a lot of the athleticism associated with it. It all goes with your horse. So
I like it. I
Jahmari,
like
I
it.
know you have a couch question for us. What do you got, buddy?
So this one I kept pretty simple. I wanted, and this is something we both can answer, but just what are we watching? If there's anything as far as TV shows, any recommendations, or even just like a movie recommendation, something that you've seen that you're like, wow, this is something that's nice.
So I'm terrible, especially since I started this doctorate. I feel like all I watch
Mm-hmm.
is sports. But if you guys haven't watched it, welcome to Wrexham. Again,
Welcome to
it's sports
Wrexham.
affiliated, but welcome to Wrexham. It's about Ryan Reynolds and Rob
Mm-hmm.
McElhenney. They bought the soccer team over in Wales, and they
Okay.
basically
Yeah.
just take it from this bottom feeder team into a
Mm-hmm.
legit professional team, and it's just a really fun documentary.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't given that a watch, give that a watch. What do you got?
Man, so I'm a big TV uh historically movie guy too, but it's been a while. But one of the shows that I recommend people check out is a couple of them. One is Paradise. Have you heard of Paradise?
I have not.
I think it's on Hulu. And it's one of those shows that I tell people maybe like a little bit and then I have to shut my mouth because I don't want to ruin it. But essentially it follows the like a Secret Service agent, and basically he's trying to solve a high profile murder.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where the closer you get to the answer, you're like, man, I don't understand what's going on. And then it kind of hits you and you're like, oh shoot, this is actually like crazy. So that's one recommendation I give. It's called Paradise. I actually think they're coming out with a season two. Another show that we're actually watching right now. It's an older show going back and just watching some legendary actors and actresses was The Wire. You know about The
The
Wire?
Wire. I've heard of that one.
Yeah, like they got a young Michael B. Jordan in there, Idris Elba. Like they
Oh boy.
got a lot of really important actors, and it's playing off of a show. Well, let me backtrack. It's one of those like drug investigation drama shows.
Okay.
And there's just a lot of great acting. The messages in there, something I recommend you paying attention to, and then it a more popular show today, or at least recently, that it's similar thing but earlier time period is Snowfall. So that's like the crack epidemic. They get into, and I don't know if you've seen Snowfall, but it's great. It gets into just the government's role in the Cold War and how it got involved with allowing drugs, cocaine to come into the U.S. Drug laws intensifying in black and low income neighborhoods. It shows you what it did to people. Great acting. I'm forgetting the actor's name, which I shouldn't because he's very popular and he was just in F1 with Brad Pitt. Dang it. Damson Idris, I think that's his name, or Damson. I know Damson is his first name, but amazing actor. Those are just a couple of recommendations. I'm really big into shows that just have a really good plot, man. Just some action too.
Have
Great
you
shows.
seen American Gangster? I was gonna say, so it felt like you were describing just like a different version of that. I love American Gangster, so I'm gonna have to
Mm.
watch that Snow Falls. I think that's
Snowfall,
really
yeah. But
yeah.
watch The Wire. You'll see how things are connected. So
Hmm.
they make a lot. Well, go back to the Wire.
Okay.
You'll learn a lot.
I was gonna say I love Denzel Washington and like Russell Crowe and those guys. I know
Mm-hmm.
they're getting old now, but yeah, heck
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they're getting up there.
I was gonna say I think one more was a movie. Do I have a movie I've watched right now? I'm really big at, or I was gonna ask you, what's like the number one TV show you'll just throw on to have on the background
Oh,
if you're
so
like ever
one that's like
cooking or
kind of like
cleaning?
that's a good question. A movie that or a TV show that you'll put on in the
Either way,
background.
either
So
way.
I had a couple. I haven't done it in a while, but one that I've done is just in the background is The Office. Like
Yep.
that was one where it was like I just played, or Modern Family is one too. But yeah, just have it in the background, not too worried about what's happening. But most recently, I've been dialed in though. The show is like a little escape for me. What
Yeah.
about you?
No, I was gonna say mine probably would be The Office or like Friends. I like
Friends.
Friends just to
Okay,
throw
Friends
on
is
something
cool.
light. Yeah,
Friends
throw
is
on something
classic.
light.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Or Ted Lasso. You ever watch Ted Lasso?
Oh man! Shout out to one of my guys. His name is Will Fector. He's down in Florida. I used to teach with him last year, and he's obsessed with the show. Like he has probably watched it maybe 10 times, like all the way through.
Oh wow.
He's
I've
probably
watched
watched
it.
it like 10
I've at
times.
least watched it twice. I don't know if I could say 10, but at least twice. I love it. I love the energy. I
I
love how
love it. I
positive
love
it
it.
is.
It's positive, whole heart. Ted
Yeah,
Lasso is a good one too. I like Ted Lasso. That's a
yeah.
really good one. That's funny. Yeah, he's probably watched it at least 10 times. And if I called him right
See,
now,
yeah.
he'll be like, "Yeah, I'm about to watch it 11." That's how much he loves
Do
it.
they? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that pretty much. I mean, that wraps us up, man. Is there anything else you want to like? Any fall sports we maybe glassed over, even though we didn't do it intentionally? Anything we need to chat about really quick, or um, should we get on out of here?
It's nothing that I'm thinking of right away, but I look forward to coming back next week and hopefully we're talking about a Pokes win in football. That's the big one. Hopefully we're covering the dub.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, we played UNLV tough. Hopefully, the Ravens can play better against the Chiefs than what I just watched. I'm 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 back
Oh
east
yeah.
here, man, and so I'm surrounded by Eagles and Ravens fans all the time, and so I'm like,
Hmm.
oh boy, they do not like Kansas City, but no,
No.
guys, I think that's going to wrap us up. Shorter episode this week. Get out and support all of the Wyoming Cowboys and Cowgirls sports. Go to
Facts.
gowyo.com if you ever want to know where they're competing at and what they're doing. I know rodeo this week is in Chadron, Nebraska, and then next weekend I have no idea where they are, but get out there, support them. I know you can have a lot of fun at a
Yeah.
volleyball. You can have a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Even, like I've worked tennis, I've worked cross country, I've worked all of them. You can have a lot of fun. So get out there, go
Right,
support.
right.
Anything else you want to throw in there, Jamar?
Hey man, be safe. Look out for one another, and we'll see you guys next week.
See
That's
you
what I
next
got.
week. Make sure you
Thank
guys
you.
follow us, subscribe, do all the stuff. We appreciate you so much, and go Pokes.
Go Pokes. Nice.